Hey guys, it's Cody Jr. Plus, back to add on more to your day. I am very excited for this video because what people love to do is clown on you for your predictions. And I'm kind of going to be doing that to myself here. Is my prediction review. At the start of the season, I did predictions for each division, their records, and their notable wins and losses. That part was honestly kind of boring. So probably not going to do that this next off season. But what I am going to do is review my predictions right now. Now here you can see the actual records of each of these teams. I'm going to tell you what I actually thought they were going to do. Starting with the AFC East, the Bills. Now, at the start of the season, off season, at the start of the season, I immediately recognized that there was one big problem with my predictions, and it was that I had way too many teams having 13-win seasons. Now you can see here, the best record in the entire league was a 13-win season, and I had two wasn't too many, but no, I had more than two. Oh yeah, I was looking at the wrong spot. 1, 2, 3. I had 3 13-4 seasons and 1 14-3 season, which is 4 seasons of teams having 13 or more wins. And in real life, there's only one team that even hit 13 wins. So, yeah, that prediction was way off. But I did have the Bills going 13-4. They went 11-6. This prediction wasn't too far off. I'm just going to tell you right now, a -2 is around the average. Like, you should expect for my predictions to be around a -2 or a +2. So, if they had 2 more losses than I predicted, then it's a -2. If they had 2 more wins than I expected, it's a +2. Bills and with a -2 on my predictions. Next were the Dolphins, which were one of the few teams I predicted exactly right. They went 11-6. I expected them to go 11-6. They were the team I expected them to be. They beat up on the bad teams, but failed expectations a lot of times against the good teams. But this next one wasn't my best prediction. It was the Jets. Now, my prediction was based off of them having Aaron Rodgers. They did not have Aaron Rodgers, and they went 7-10 when I had them going 10-7. Honestly, I don't blame myself too much for this one because there was no way to know Aaron Rodgers was going to get hurt. And we don't know how good this team really would have been with him. But I can tell you right now, it would have been better than they were with Zach Wilson. And the final team was the Patriots. They went 4-13, and I had them going 5-12. A -1 or a +1 is pretty good. If you only get one game off, you at least had a pretty good idea of what that team was going to do. They just won or lost a game that you didn't expect them to. Next, we got the AFC North. I did really good with this division. The Ravens, I had going 13-4, and they went 13-4. They were just the team I thought they were. I didn't expect them to be the best team in the league. I didn't expect the divisions to be this weak. I'm pretty sure there was like a couple 13-win teams last season, but there was like 2 or 3. But this season, there was only 1. But Ravens were the only one, and, well, I didn't predict them to win the Super Bowl or anything, but I think record-wise, I did pretty good with them. Next are the Browns. I had them going 10-7. They were slightly better without Nick Chubb at 11-6. So I did pretty good with them, as I said. Being one game off is not bad at all. But it starts to fall off a little bit. As I was a kind of avid Steelers hater, I guess, I had them going 6-11. Kind of forgot who their coach was, because their roster played like a 6-11 team. But they managed to keep winning those unexpected divisional games, going 5-1 in the division. That's one of the best records in the entire league. It's tied with the Cowboys for the best division record. Okay, Cowboys, Rams, and 49ers. So that's an amazing record. Like, if you take away those, they were bad. They were 5-6. But the Steelers managed to, especially thanks to Mike Tomlin, win their big division games, which I did not expect them to do. So, yeah, I was 4 games off for them. Bengals I had going 13-4 and being first in the division, but they were 9-8 and last in the division. This one, due to the injuries and the Bengals just being really underwhelming at the start of the season, is what led to this really happening. So, like, I'm not gonna say this is completely my fault. There was injuries, but at the start of the season they were already pretty bad. But they started picking up steam, lost all that steam when Joe Burrow got injured. Next, the AFC. We'll do the AFC South next. And to start with my worst predictions, actually, are they my only? No, I have 2 teams where I predicted 6 games off. That's it. Only 2 teams where I predicted 6 games off. No teams where I predicted 5 games off. A couple teams where I picked 4 games off. Texans were one of my worst predictions. I had them getting 4 wins. I did not expect their offense to be as good as it was. And I did not expect them to have a winning record in their division. They actually went 10-7 and won their division. That is not at all what I expected them to do. The Texans were one of the only 2 teams that I completely were off the mark on. They were way better than I thought. Next, we've got the Jaguars, and we come from a terrible prediction to an ultimate prediction. They went 9-8. I thought they would go 9-8, so I just didn't expect them to miss the playoffs. I thought they would win the division at 9-8, which did not happen. Next up, we have got the Colts. The Indianapolis Colts went 9-8. I thought they would go 5-12. Another not great prediction. Me just kind of underrating the AFC South here. Anthony Richardson was way better than expected, and Minshew was a pretty good game manager for them. Just not much else to say there. Titans were another perfect prediction, though. This is the only division where I got 2 predictions perfect. Had the Titans going 6-11. They went 6-11. Not much to say there. Just did really good. Next, we've got the AFC West, which is a really hard prediction to guess, but I think I did pretty well for the most part. I had the Chiefs going 14-3, completely overrated them, and underrated their need for a receiver. They ended up going 11-6, which is still really good, but just not on the level of the Chiefs we saw last season. But -3 isn't terrible, it's just not really good at all. Raiders are next. I had them going 7-10. They went 8-9. They were a little bit better than I expected, but +1 isn't too shabby. Broncos were slightly worse. They went 8-9. I thought they would go 6-11. I just did not think the Raiders and Broncos were going to be as good as they were. But that's not even the worst of it. I had the Chargers going 11-6, and they went 5-12. Now, if you told a Chargers fan that they were going to have 5 total wins this season, they would laugh in your face. I know they were disappointing in the playoffs against the Jaguars last season, but they knew, well, they thought, and we all thought, that the Chargers were at least a 9-win team. And I went above that, and I regretted it. The Chargers were terrible. Even after they fired their coach, I cannot believe they were this bad. Could not win a division game to save their life. Like, dude, 1-5 in the division is atrocious. Can't believe they only won 5 games. And that's the other team I had was 6 games off of. We're finally at the NFC, though, halfway through this video. Cowboys went 12-5. Thought they would go 11-6, so it was pretty close there. Same for the Eagles, except the other way around. If I predicted the Eagles to go 11-6 and the Cowboys to go 12-5, I would have been right on the mark for both of those. But instead, I'm 1 game off for both. They're both really weird teams that struggled to win big games every turn of the corner. But the Cowboys at least beat it up on the teams that they needed to beat up on, which the Eagles failed to do. Like, they almost lost to the Patriots and got blown out by the Giants. Lost to the I just don't know what happened to the Eagles at the end of the season. I just really have no explanation. And it's probably going to lead to a first-round exit, to be honest. We'll see, though. I'll make playoff predictions probably tomorrow, actually. Next, we got the Giants. I expected them to go 9-8. I cannot believe I was that high on the Giants early year on. I go reach because I thought Saquon was going to turn it on again. I thought Daniel Jones was not going to be a bottom 5 QB in the league and get benched. I didn't think he was going to be even top 15. I thought he was going to be in the 19-20 range, which is good enough with this Giants roster, especially their defense. But no, every part of their team was disappointing this season. Besides their clutch gene, weirdly, they were pretty good in close games, like the Patriots game. Well, not really the Eagles game or the Rams game, but the Packers game and the pass game, which I just said. Maybe they weren't as good in close games. They were more average in close games. They lost some, won some. No, I really think in one score game they were 4-4 or something. So I was a little bit off the mark there in my prediction and my kind of assessment, but whatever. Giants are Giants. Commanders, I had them going 5-12. They went 4-13. So I was really good for the NFC East. I guess that was one of the couple divisions that the worst I got was a 3-game difference on. I had 3 teams where I only got 1 game off of, which is really easy to fix. Next, we've got the NFC North. Lions were a really good team, just randomly. They were decent last year, but they were a bad team that just turned it on. I thought they were gonna be average this year, 9-8, but they ended up being NFC North champions at 12-5. Packers I had being a lot worse too, 7-10. They went 9-8. They look like they're going to go around 7-10 early in the season, but they just started winning games for some reason. Like, well, not really these two, but I'm pretty sure if you compare the second half to the first half, you'll see the Packers were a lot better second half team. Next week, Vikings, which I was 3 games off of, just like the Lions. They were going to win the division at 10-7. Instead, they lose the division at 7-10, which, honestly, I was talking about how I couldn't see how the Vikings were going to be bad this year, but I really feel like they would have been 10-7 if not for that Justin Jefferson injury. So I still don't really feel bad about that prediction. Bears, I had going 7-10, being a little bit underrated, and they went 7-10. So, yeah, I was really good there. You know, it was looking bad at the start. Bears turned it on at the end and kind of sold their way from getting 2 top 5 picks, but that's all right. Still think they're going to draft Caleb Williams, by the way. Next, we have the NFC South. Another team that division I did really good predicting. I had the Bucks going 10-7. They went 9-8. Only 1 game off. It's pretty good. I knew they were going to be a little bit underrated this season. People were saying they were going to be the worst team in this division. I knew that was going to be the Panthers. Let's just skip to the Panthers. Because people were like, they are going to go 9-8 and just barely win this division. 7-10, 8 wins, 9 wins. I was like, no. I'll be surprised if they got more than 4 wins. And I believe they got 4 wins. They were worse than that. They got 2-15. I am so happy that the Panthers sucked, not just because they're part of the NFC South, but also because they had the craziest expectations for a sorry roster. I cannot believe the Panthers were expected to win this division over the Bucks. Now, like, I know I just went on a little rant there, but we can go back to reality and to the Saints, who went 9-8 when I thought they were going to go 7-10. Of course, Derek Carr turned it on against the Falcons. I don't know what happened there, and then they were going to have to score on us because they're the Saints. They can't have a good cultured football team. It's the New Orleans Saints. What did you expect? Finally, we've got the Falcons last and least, because I don't care if the Panthers had a worse record. The bigger crime is that the Falcons actually lost to the Panthers and gave them one of their 2 wins. I had the Falcons going 10-7. They went 7-10. Didn't expect Ritter to be this terrible. Didn't expect Alex Smith to be this terrible. I wasn't actually off by that much, but if I even said the Falcons were going to get 11 wins, that's already a stretch. Final division is the NFC West, where we've got the 49ers. Only 1 game off, had them going 11-6. They actually were better than that at 12-5, so pretty good record for them, pretty good season. I made a big mistake with the Rams, because I had them at 9-8 in my first initial predictions. Then I was like, I don't know. People were saying they're going to be really bad. And then dropped them 3 games, because a lot of people were having them have 5-4 wins. I was like, okay, I'm not going to drop them that far. I'm going to drop them 6-11. I should have kept them at 9-8, because they ended up going 10-7. Just, dude, why did you change your predictions? They were fine. Don't let the... Guys, this is a sign to not let people decide for you. Not to listen to the critics of Matthew Stafford and Puka Nacua, who I definitely knew of before the season started. Most definitely. And go with your gut. Because that would have gotten me a way better prediction. Seahawks were another team that got perfect, though. They were 9-8. I mean, that was really just a perfect record for the Seahawks. They're average, and that's kind of what happened. The Seahawks are average, 9-8. Well, I guess 7 days technically above average, but if you're missing the playoffs, then you're an average team. Or bad. And I'm not putting them in the bad category, so average it is. Finally, we've got the Cardinals. I was only 1 game off. They went 4-13. They're going to go 3-14, which honestly was a little bit too bad for them, especially because they're going to have Kyler Murray back eventually. But they're still really, really bad, so yeah, pretty good point. So, I don't know if my math was exactly correct in how I did it in my formula, but it looked like by average, I was only off by about 3 games. So, if a team was, if the team went 8-11, I had them either getting like 5 wins or 11 wins, which is a little bit too far. I would like to get the 2 wins average off next season. Which I think the main reasons were the outliers, where I had the Chargers and Texans 6 games off. If you move those even like 4 games off, I think I might have been able to move down to at least 2. But I don't even know if this formula was perfect. Like, I don't even know if this is completely foolproof. But either way, I think I did a pretty good job. Like, I never really thought a team was going to be good, and then they were bad for no reason. Like, except for the Chargers. That's it. That's the only team where they were just bad for no reason. For the Jets and Bengals, first of all, they still had winning records. Second of all, they both had huge injuries to their QBs. And for the Giants, like, they weren't too far off. 3 games off isn't really that bad to me. And also, just because they're 9 does not make them good. Do you think the Bucks and Saints are really good teams? Like, that's a stretch. But I know people are going to hate on predictions no matter what, but you just got to keep grinding, keep doing better every season. Very excited for the playoffs and my predictions for that. Make sure you wait for that because it's going to be a very fun video. And it's going to be fun when I get some wrong inevitably. But show me some of your predictions in the in the comments, and tell me, like, what were your best predictions, what were your worst. Have a good day or night since it's going to be uploaded late. Adios.